Ron DeSantis donors are increasingly worried that he can't handle a national campaign for the Republican nomination, particularly against Donald Trump. And I have to tell you, the evidence is increasingly pointing that way. Think for a moment. We're going to get into the data and the concerns from DeSantis donors in a moment. But think for a moment. On the one hand, you have Ron DeSantis. He's got a new book. He's speaking all over the country. He's going to Staten Island and he's going to Manhattan and he's going all over the place, speaking everywhere, being interviewed, getting tons of positive press from Fox News. And his polling is going down. And meanwhile, you have Donald Trump potentially going to get arrested any day, holding a rally on the 30th anniversary of the Waco siege in Waco, Texas, fomenting violence, all of this stuff. And his polls are going up despite middle of the night all caps rants on Truth Social and so on and so forth. That doesn't look good for Ron DeSantis. And this is indeed the concern among many DeSantis donors. There's a good NBC News article. Ron DeSantis's donors and allies question if he's ready for 2024. At a recent gathering of 16 prominent Republicans, a number of DeSantis supporters discussed if he should run against Trump or wait until 2028. And that 2028 question we've increasingly been talking about. Many of you have emailed me and said, DeSantis, although he looks like he's almost 60, he's only 44 years old. He could wait. He could wait until 2028 when there will be no Trump. He could even wait until 2032 if he wanted to. It's not clear that with the higher polling, he would be willing to do that. But if the polling declines, maybe he would. NBC News writes, Ron DeSantis may be missing his moment. A number of his donors and allies are worried. His recent stumbles suggest he may not be ready for a brutal fight against Donald Trump. Some feel DeSantis needs to accelerate his timeline to run for the Republican nomination and begin directly confronting Trump if he is to have any chance of thwarting Trump's momentum. Others believe DeSantis should sidestep Trump altogether and wait until 2028. It is true that with the anticipation having built for months and months now, Donald Trump having announced in the days right after the November of 22 midterms and actively campaigning at this point, his first rally was over the weekend, and we'll talk about that. How long can DeSantis build anticipation? At the beginning, you can accurately say he's building anticipation and he's polling strongly. As he starts to misstep, as his lack of charisma oozes out of every pore, and as his polling starts to sort of drift down, we can no longer call it building anticipation. It's something else, and maybe it is missing the moment. The article continues, at a Sunday luncheon, it's not a lunch, it's a luncheon, and that's how you know it's serious business. At a Sunday luncheon following the annual Red Cross Ball in Palm Beach, Florida, a group of 16 prominent Republicans, described by one attendee as a mix of DeSantis backers and Trump skeptics, discussed misgivings about DeSantis' standing for the future if he tussles with the former president. Quote, they liked him. Many of them might even support him, but they thought on balance that his long-term future was better without him trying to take Trump head on. He will get scarred up. The article mentions some specific donors, including billionaire shipping goods magnate Richard Uihlein and his wife Elizabeth, whose $500,000 in combined contributions make them among the most generous donors to DeSantis' 2022 campaign. A person familiar with the strategy around Uihlein's spending said that right now, quote, the brakes are pumped. The polling really made different people pause. A spokesperson for the Uihleins is declining to comment. It is absolutely true that the polling is no beauty to write home about. If you look at recent polling, you do see that it's very solid for Trump in just about every way. A very recent Harris poll has Trump 12 ahead of DeSantis, and that's one of DeSantis's better standings, to be perfectly frank. A premise poll has Trump 24 ahead of DeSantis among registered voters and 30 ahead among all respondents. A YouGov poll has Trump 15 ahead of DeSantis. Now, the counterpoint is DeSantis hasn't even announced yet. And having numbers this strong when you're not even running suggests that if DeSantis announces, he's going to get a surge, a boost, a swelling, for lack of a better term, of his polling. That may be the case. The problem is, as I mentioned, that's a stronger argument before everybody's talking about DeSantis for 4 months and he's doing interviews and book tours and speeches and getting the best possible press he can get from Fox News. Once you have months and months of that, it starts to feel as though his potential is increasingly baked into existing polling, and there's less of a boost to be had with an announcement. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's not for me to advise Republicans, nor is anybody asking me to advise Republicans. But my concern for DeSantis from day one has been his lack of charisma and seeming desire to be above Trump. When he's asked, well, Trump said this, what do you say? And he says, I don't spend my time criticizing Republicans. Fine, that may play well in Florida, but it's not striking me as the strongest positioning for fighting Trump in a national campaign. I want to hear from you. What do you think about DeSantis's chances as we are about to enter April of 2023? Are they deflating? Can they still be pumped up? Let me know what you think in a comment. We'll follow up and see what's on your minds. Did you know that every year 30 million trees are cut down to meet the demand of toilet paper in the United States alone? Here's something really simple you can do to fight climate change a little bit in your home. Our sponsor, Real Paper, makes toilet paper 100% from bamboo stalks, which keep growing forever. No trees are cut down. It's shipped right to your door in plastic-free packaging. It's fluffy. It's soft like regular toilet paper. You're not making any quality sacrifice. And for every box you buy, Real Paper donates to reforestation efforts across America through their partnership with One Tree Planted. So instead of the toilet paper you're currently buying, which cuts down trees and wastes plastic, use Real Paper, actively helping the planet. You can set up a recurring subscription so you're always stocked, or do a one-time purchase. The average American uses 50 pounds of toilet paper or more every year. Make the easy switch to Real Paper. You'll get 30% off your first order plus free shipping. Go to realpaper.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.